Hey, welcome back to another Coaches Show. It's a great week. My San Jose Spartans are 3-0, and your Mission Prep Royals are 2-1, riding a 2-0 winning streak after a big win this week. Coach, talk about the win over the Santa Ynez Pirates. That big win. You were up 10-7 at the break, a close ball game against Coach McClurg, excuse me.
Mhm.
And then you what are you telling these kids at the break to get that big win to pull away to get that 2-1 record on the board?
Well, I want to give Coach McClurg a lot of credit. They they definitely created some tough matchups for us on offense. Slowed down a lot of things that we wanted to do, um, and that put us in a position to we had to rapidly adjust the game plan a little bit. So what we planned on doing coming into that game, we actually got away from that a little bit. So there were some things that we did in the second half that Um, I was proud that the kids executed them because we hadn't repped them all that much or as much in the game. So I think that's a credit to Coach McClurg. He had some good adjustments and a good game plan against us. And I was very appreciative of my staff. They recognized some things, and that allowed us then a chance to counter back against it, which is all part of it's part of the fun of being a coach is the chess match that goes back and forth. And so that was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun doing that against Coach McClurg. He's very good at what he does. Um, and I was, those games are a lot of fun because there's a lot of communication and a lot of game planning and a lot of problem solving, and that's the stuff that everybody enjoys doing. So we really enjoyed all the aspects of those things from a player standpoint. Um, we were very unhappy. I'll be very open. We were very unhappy with how our kids were operating in the first half. I thought our kids were um, operating in a manner that wasn't reflective of who we are or what we're about. And it wasn't football related. It was there were um, uh, kids making personal decisions on the field and off the field and on the sideline that I felt were selfish, that I felt were, um, just kind of bad focus, bad energy. Um, and so at halftime, the entire conversation, there was no football conversation. The conversation at halftime was about um, just getting our minds back focused on the things that make us successful, and stop making it about ourselves. And so the kids responded very well to that. They instantly recognized those areas where they were deficient and quickly made some adjustments there at halftime. It was kind of a little bit of a benefit. Rarely does this happen, but sometimes you get a longer halftime because it was homecoming. And I was actually grateful. Generally, I kind of like the shorter half times. I don't want to, spend, all day sitting in there and everyone's kind of, you lose momentum, you lose energy and all that kind of stuff. So not all the time, but sometimes. And in this case, I was thankful we had a little bit more time at halftime. And so um, it was a cultural reset a little bit for us. And the way we played that second half, they jump out, they get a lead, but I was really happy with the response of the team in those moments. That everyone's kind of dialing back into what we're about, and I had full confidence. Midway through the third quarter, we thought we'd figured out some things X's and O's wise that it was gonna allow us to kind of take advantage of what they were doing,
Yeah.
and then it started to click in the fourth quarter, and we kind of took over at that point. But that was really kind of the synopsis of the game. Was we weren't happy in the first half, pleased with how the team responded in the second half, and if we can play all of our games like we played in the fourth quarter, then we actually have a good team.
And let's talk about the team as a whole. Uh, 2 weeks ago, we saw a passing team against Kern Valley. And this week, we saw a run team, which shows the versatility of this team, either going through the air or going on the ground, depending on who your opponent is. Talk about that versatility with Thomas Glenn at quarterback, being able to air the ball out, and then your array of running backs with Ronnie Kardashian, Miles Thompson, and a slew of others back there rotating in.
Yeah, we want to be more diverse than we have in the past. I feel like it's breaking down that way. We threw the ball more than we have, yeah, we ran the ball a lot in the fourth quarter there, but we still threw the ball 26 times. There are a number of, there's Thomas made a number of great decisions. We just couldn't complete those completions,
Yeah.
or something was slightly out. Or Thomas is in the process of making a good decision, and protection breaks down. And so I thought Thomas really played a very good game. We had noticed some things up front in that fourth quarter that kind of we made a purposeful decision at that point. We were backing off the passing game because we felt like there was something there that we could expose, and we wanted to kind of lean on Santa Ynez a little bit. We wanted to possess the clock. We didn't want to give their offense any more opportunities. Um, and and there were opportunities in the pass game, but we were purposefully at that point in the game kind of going, we want to try to take over this game right now. So there was a physical aspect to it, but then also a little bit of angles and adjustment too that we felt like there's something here that we don't think they're going to be able to have an answer for. So, we're going to lean hard on those sets of plays. And that's different game to game. And I fully imagine at some point this year we're going to get into a game and we're going to find something in the pass game and go, hey, we're going to lean hard on this because this is going to kind of expose some things, and so we want to be more diverse. Happy that I feel like we are. But I'm also not going to make any bones about it. At the end of the day, we like to run the football. So
Running the football is always good because it keeps that clock moving.
yeah,
And Coach, speaking of running the ball, one of your running backs was named our player of the game coming in the fourth quarter, putting the final stamp on this game, making sure it was out of reach. And that is Ronnie Kardashian picking up the PSNtv player of the game. And overall, like I said, your backs overall were outstanding all game. But I feel Steven and I felt like Ronnie came in that fourth quarter, really put the stamp on this game, and sent Santa Ynez back home with their own ball in their hands, uh, with the W or with the L while you got the W. Uh,
yeah,
Talk about his performance.
yeah. No, I thought Ronnie. We got a little bit of we're very fortunate in the sense that we have several young men that at any point can truly take over the game. And I think what we're excited about is watching on any given week, there's going to be a kid that, hey, it's hitting better with this kid than it is with this kid for any given reason. Sometimes kids they get a flow or they just feel energy from the other team and they feel dominant,
Or they ate their
and
Wheaties.
or they eat their Wheaties. Yeah, Cheerios. They powered up that day. Ronnie must have eaten a bunch of Wheaties, and you could tell as the game was wearing on, especially in the second quarter. We'd kind of made a purposeful decision around the second quarter. Like we just felt like Ronnie was hitting a little bit better. Miles did great. Miles has a big touchdown run. Miles has several big runs in that game. But there was something about the way Ronnie was running, the way he was hitting the edge, and even in the pass game, he gets the ball a couple times in the pass game that you could kind of sense like Ronnie he looks good today. And whereas the opposite week, Miles looked really good. Miles looked very dominant in the run game, and so he got the majority of the carries against Kern Valley. And so it's one of those things that we're very thankful and fortunate that we have a number of kids at any given week. Carter Moreau, at some point, his number is going to get called here too, where he's going to have a game, and that's going to be fun to watch that happen too. But yeah, by the time we got to the fourth quarter, it was Ronnie's game, and that was one of the strategic things we were looking at. We could tell we had a kid who was playing better than anybody else on the field. We wanted to kind of ride that a little bit. So.
And Coach, I know you always like my curveball, so here's one for you. You've had two road games this season. You got two more to go. And this one's a pretty simple one. What is your favorite road venue to play at? Whether it's the crowd or the home crowd that comes out, the facilities that are offered, the lighting, whatever the case, the scenario you may use to evaluate the venue. What's your favorite road venue, whether it's this season or one you've been to in the 8 years you've been coaching?
Hmm,
or top three. You know, if
that's a
you don't
good
want to
one.
single one out because you don't want to make anybody feel bad.
Uh, Man, I'm trying to remember all
I'll tell you my
of
favorite's Orosi.
them.
Hands
The,
down, Orosi.
the facilities were great at Arosi. I that whole night was frustrating.
Yes, it was.
I can't get past it. Facilities were great. I'll give you that, but I think everyone feels the same way. We should not have lost that game, and that one still hurts. I think right off the top of my head, my favorites that I've been to, probably number one would be Bakersfield High School. We lost the game, but we lost in a very honorable way. With we're playing Bakersfield High School,
Yeah,
and anybody who knows anything about high school football, it's like, dude, that's the New York Yankees of the Central Valley. And that stadium is so legendary. It's huge, just a very cool venue. And being able to say, like, I took this tiny little mission prep program and we went and played Bakersfield High School, and with a minute 35 left, we're down by 6 with a chance to with a chance to go win. And um that was hard losing that game, but I'm just really proud of that group. The Lemoore game the week earlier, and all the stuff that went into that game. We show up. It's a huge stadium. It's a cool stadium, but we show up and they're yelling at us and chirping. They put us on it's a huge campus. They put us as far away as possible. And we showed up, and you could just tell like there was arrogance and condescension. Like there's, this tiny little team, and the way that game played out, and we went smash mouth on them, and it worked. And then Bishop Diego, how can you not like Bishop Diego playing there at Santa Barbara, right there on the beach, right when sunset's hitting,
yeah,
and it was a good night. you know I'd say those would be my top three. The facilities are amazing. The opponents were elite, and the games were fantastic, and everything you want out of those situations. So
very nice, Coach. Appreciate you entertaining me there. And
yeah,
let's move on to this week's
that was a good
opponent.
one.
We're moving back into home territory, back to Mustang Memorial Stadium. The Royals hosting the team from the city of Orange, El Modena. The Vanguards coming to town, Coach. 4-0 on the record. A solid team out of the city of Orange, Orange County coming to town. Tell me a little bit about this team, why you selected them, and what kind of heavy hitters they're bringing to town.
Oh yeah, no, El Medina. I mean, they're top 100 in the state. One of the best offenses in the state. They're averaging almost 50 points a game. They've got 4 kids who are Division I players, like right now with offers, and several other kids that probably will eventually become D1 kids. Some of the younger guys, and we scheduled this game on purpose. We wanted to test ourselves against a really, really elite team and just kind of see what that thing looks like. And it might get out of hand. It might be really ugly. But what we wanted to do is really just actively test the team, test the program, stress the program a little bit, um, and just kind of see how that goes. We also want to test out some theories a little bit on some X's and O's. And this is one of those weeks where you got such a crazy offense and this elite defense. A quarterback who can very easy left-handed, he can flick that ball 70 yards. He can you have to guard the entire field. He can put the ball anywhere. And he puts it with accuracy. He sits in the pocket, he can deliver it. He's also the fastest dude on the field. And so you give him just the tiniest little lane, he'll take off running, and there's nobody on our team that can truly catch this kid if he gets full speed. And that's not a shot at our kids. This is just this kid's different. And so we, saw him as a junior, saw him competing against some other programs in Southern California. There was a conversation that happened in the spring with their head coach, and I really wanted to play this team, knowing full well this might go very poorly for us, but I just really wanted to kind of get on the field with them, let the program have to deal with the program like this. Let our fans have to watch like, hey, this is what true speed and true programs down south look like. And I just there's a lot about this I'm very excited about. It's no pressure, Hey, we get blown out, you know, whatever happens in this game, it actually has no bearing on league or playoffs or anything that happens. It's just a game for us to compete, get a little bit better, and try out some things that we've been discussing, and hey, what happens when we actually do it, type of thing. So
And this is probably the biggest game of the season for you at this point. Would you agree or disagree?
in terms of opponent, yeah,
Yes.
there's nobody like El Medina on our schedule. But in terms of like, standings and bearings and all that kind of stuff, that's partly why we scheduled it. It has no bearing on, if we lose this game 50-0, doesn't really change anything for us. We just want to make sure we get out of that game healthy.
Yeah.
But and likewise, if we win this game, it also doesn't really change a whole lot for us or El Medina. It's just a game for both teams to, they get to come up to Cal Poly. It's a cool trip for them going into the bye week. They get to showcase in front of college coaches a little bit, and they got the dudes to showcase. And then for us, it's a chance to compete against a high level program and try to get better in all phases. So it's kind of perfectly scheduled. I'm really excited about it. I know the staff's excited about it, and we'll see how it goes.
And how nice of you to bring teams in for Cal Poly to scout.
All right. They've been nice to us.
Yeah, you're bringing teams in. Top ranked teams coming into Cal Poly, and Cal Poly doesn't have to travel to scout.
Walk 5 feet.
Yep, walk 5 feet. Coach, this Friday, 7:30 kickoff from Mustang Memorial Field, Alex G. Spano Stadium. Your Mission Prep Royals face the El Modena Vanguards from the city of Orange out of the southern section. Coach, before we part ways, any final words?
No, I do actually want to give a quick shout out. We have some amazing parents that do just so many great things. Brian Villa, Dan Rivas, Jason Glenn. There's a number of parents. Jason Wiseman. I can go through. There's just a ton of parents that are.
Coach, I want to jump in and throw one out there. The mother who organizes the team meal after the game.
Oh, Michelle. Kate Bork.
Yes.
Kate
She's
Bork.
very crucial. She makes sure the pizza order is ready.
Yeah, and Michelle Engel and Trisha, just everything that all of our parents do. They're lining and painting the field. Um, they're actively supporting all these different things at Cal Poly. I don't get a chance to shout them out very much. I wanted to give them a quick shout out and just say how much I so greatly appreciate them. And there's a long legacy of parents that have come through that have done just great work for us that allow us to have the program that we have. And I remain daily grateful and thankful for their contributions and their support. We really have a very special community at Mission, and just very thankful for all those, including the ones I didn't mention. I could sit here all day. There's like 50 parents that I should mention, and Faith Foster's another one. Just very thankful for our community. So,
Well, Coach, you get that list typed up, and after the next show, we'll run a credits list of every parent on the list that needs to be mentioned,
there you go. It's a good
and
idea.
we won't have to say them all, and everybody will get their just due.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And Coach, I want to thank you for giving your time. I know you're an administrator on campus. You got the coaching staff duties, and you got a whole bunch of other stuff going on that you need to take care of, including being a father. But here you are giving us your time, and I appreciate that, Coach.
Appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon. Appreciate you. And this Friday on PSNtv, live 7:30 p.m. El Modena Vanguards versus your Mission Prep Royals.